Welcome back, everybody, to the PGS 2014 summer season. I'm your shoutcaster today. I'm Jay, and with me, of course,
Mr. Rick and TV.
yes, thank you for joining me again, M. Rake and TV, for another games of going to go today. Let's take a look at our schedule for today. Of course, we're gonna have two games as usual. We're gonna have first up Wargods versus Pacific in game one, and of course, game two will be, of course, still Pacific and Wargods switching sides. So first game we have Wargods on the blue side and and Pacific on the red side, while the second game will have Pacific on the blue side with Wargods switching over to the red side. So let's take a look at our team lineup for today. For both teams, of course, we have Team Wargods. I'm pretty sure by now everybody's quite familiar with the players from Team Wargods. They are the representatives for the GPL. They did play two games earlier. Sadly, they did not pick up a victory. Right now, you're looking at the team roster. There's Suds, Trevor, Stronger, Poisanti, and of course, Ochi in the end. And next up, of course, we have Team Pacific. Of course, Team Pacific. Right now, some of these players are from the former MLE. We have BYY in the very front with the glasses. Right beside him with the glasses as well is a starter, but also known as 5283. Behind them, of course, is Mystery. These are the three original members from Manila Eagles from way back in Season 1 of the GPL. The other members, of course, are Shotty, Hongju, and the other two subs for Team Pacific. Alright? So game will be starting any second now. Looking into the game, what can you expect from these two teams?
Well, you can see right now, WG will probably want to play strong. Will want to come out strong, especially after those last two games. Heartbreaking, of course, that they didn't get into the playoff bracket. But then again, WG right now has a chance to get back, has the chance to stay in the GPL next season. So they want to make sure that they come out strong in this game and secure their chances for next season in the GPL.
Yeah, so you can see the standings right now. Manila Eagles are at top right now. They played a total of 8 games with 10 points earned. Diamond in second place with 7 points. Wargods currently sitting in the middle with 3 points. Mineski and IPT only 1 win so far. Pacific with no victories yet. So the game has started. Let's proceed to the pick and ban phase for our game 1 tonight. Alright, again, like I said a while ago, Wargods will be on the blue side with Pacific on the red side. First ban coming out from Team Wargods is the Shyvana. Now, definitely a strong pick, good ban coming from Wargods against Team Pacific. We know that Pacific likes to use very tanky champions in the top lane. Shyvana is still one of the tankiest champions you can see in this lane and can also be rotated to the jungle.
And very surprising ban here with the Lulu actually. You can see a lot of teams want to pick Lulu instead of ban her out. You can see that Pacific banned Lulu, and we've already seen how strong Lulu can be in the hands of Wargods, especially because of how much utility she gives to the team when it comes to team fights and when it comes to the laning phase, where she can just poke and rotate really well. So very surprising ban from Pacific, knowing that Pacific probably could pick Lulu up later as either support or top. They've seen Pacific be very comfortable with that Lulu pick, but then again, they want to make sure that Wargods doesn't get their hands on that very comfortable pick of Lulu.
Yeah, alright, so second ban and third ban coming out from Wargods now. They did decide to ban out Gragas and Morgana, with Pacific banning out Lulu, Yasu, and Braum. We saw Team Wargods using Braum in the recent game, and they also love to use Lulu and Yasu quite a lot as well in all the lanes. So it'll be very good. These are actually pretty good bans coming out from Team Pacific. Kassadin is open. Wargods JLC opting to probably pick this champion for himself. It wouldn't be the first time if he goes for Kassadin. He might probably go for an AD Kassadin once again. We'll have to see how this plays out.
Yeah, and that Braum ban is very important just because of how good Braum synergizes with the rest of the team. So for example, you can have Braum in almost any AD carry. You could have Braum with perhaps Lucian, very good pick again. You could have Braum with Caitlyn or Kog'Maw. Really, Braum works in any sort of position when it comes to the AD carry. So you can have a lot of options when it comes to choosing your AD carry once you pick up Braum. So really good ban from Pacific here, making sure that Wargods don't get their hands on a Braum and potentially play another Kog'Maw Braum or Lucian Braum game.
Yeah, right now Wargods really taking their time on their picks here. They actually used up the whole timer just to lock in that Kassadin here. It looks like they're probably discussing the strategy they will be executing this particular game against Team Pacific. Wargods actually is still undefeated in the PGS. This is actually only their second round of matches here against this will be the first one against Team Pacific, of course. And Pacific not doing so well yet this season. They still have a lot of points, or they still need to pick up some more wins. Like we saw a while ago, they've already had about 4 games already and only picked up 1 victory so far. And definitely this is going to be a huge matchup for Team Pacific, especially against one of the stronger teams right now. Wargods are probably still one of the top teams right now in the PGS, and Pacific are one of the new boys in the block. Of course, they have 3 members from the original Manila Eagles, so they also have been around in the pro scene, but it's really hard to pick up a new team, especially when you get new members in your team rotating into different positions, particularly in this game. You can see here that Pacific 5283, or also known as Astarte before, is actually most likely going to be playing the support role. As you can see, he's the last champion, or he's in the bottom of the roster of Team Pacific.
Yeah, it's really hard to get your team to gel well, especially since wins come very rarely from Pacific. Now, the number one thing you need to get your team to really gel is you want to get the wins. You want to pick up those wins, get your team to just synergize and get the chemistry going. And what better way to start but to win against Wargods. Wargods is a very strong team in the PGS right now. Of course, they made it to the GPL, almost made a playoff bracket. Unfortunately, it didn't really happen. But if Pacific picks up this win up against Wargods, I think that's really going to work well for the chemistry. You're just going to get more confident with themselves. They're going to feel much better. And aside from that, they want to make sure that, especially now, this is the golden opportunity to beat Wargods. Wargods just come after 2 big losses. So that means that Wargods isn't feeling as strong as they were. So Pacific can really take advantage of that and really just try to play really aggressively and make sure that they beat Wargods there.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Definitely Wargods morale might be down here. We have to see if they can actually come back. For a professional team, this is a very important thing, especially if you play a lot of tournaments or a lot of games. Picking up a loss in the early games could definitely affect your your matches later on, and this is something that Pacific could actually abuse to their favor if ever they can somehow play strong in this game. Alright, so the second picks are Twisted Fate and Elise, of course, being picked up by Pacific. Wargods responding with a Jace and a Lee Sin, very strong picks. I agree with the Team Wargods here. Almost every champion they pick so far have very strong late game scaling and also early game power as well. So it will really be a little bit hard for the members of Pacific to deal with the lane pressure coming from these 3 champions so far from Wargods.
Yeah, but I think again that Aatrox pick is a bit unorthodox, but I think that will really help them when it comes to the early game spikes of Team Wargods. So especially with that Lucian pick, I think that Lucian pick really helps them out because no matter what Wargods picks here, they always have that Lucian who's the #1 lane bully as an AD carry. I think that's a really good pick by Pacific. But that Aatrox pick, I'm not really sure how that's going to work out when it comes to the mid to the late game because of how Aatrox is a bit of a liability when it comes to team fights because it doesn't give as much utility as other potential picks in that lane.
Yeah, alright, so Wargods deciding with their support and AD carry. Surprisingly, they are the last picks for Wargods this time around. So far, Poisanti looks like he's gonna stick with the Zyra, particularly in this game. And I wouldn't be surprised if they actually combo this with the Varus. I actually wouldn't mind actually seeing an Ashe, particularly with this lineup, since they have a very strong dive-in composition with Team Wargods, and Ashe should be a very nice way to initiate the team fight. Of course, Varus has a similar ultimate, but has a slower movement speed to initiate with his ultimate. But we'll have to see. Most likely, these 2 champions will be locked in. Yes, the timer has run out. They will stick with the Varus and Zyra picks for Team Wargods. So we already have the full lineup of Team Wargods. Pacific now has a chance to pick their last champion to counter whatever Team Wargods will. And
the Blitzcrank.
The Blitzcrank, the favorite champ of Astarte way back in Manila Eagles Day, where he did amazing pulls, giving Manila Eagles quite a number of victories because of that Blitzcrank. So basically, this is Pacific going back to the roots, particularly with that Blitzcrank pick.
I really disagree with this Varus pick by Suez because you can see that the Ashe Zyra is just such a proven and well matched AD carry and support synergy really. So I don't know why they didn't pick with the Ashe. I think that Ashe matches really well with their team composition because you have poking composition with Jace and Ashe and Zyra. I think that works really well for them, and especially when it comes to the late game spike, of course, that WG has. When it comes to that late game spike, that Ashe ultimate really works very well because you basically turn that team fight into a 5v4 once you hit that arrow. So I just don't know why they didn't go with that Ashe. I think that Ashe pick would have been better for them, but then again, they're probably just more comfortable with that Varus having played it more often.
Alright, so we can see the champions have been switched around in the Wargod side. JLC will be using Jace in the top lane here. Stronger will most likely be in the mid lane once again as the Kassadin. Trevor with the Lee Sin will be back in the jungle. Suez will be using that Varus and Zyra with Poisanti. On the other side, of course, we have Shotty with the Aatrox. Misery on the Elise. Pacific Hongju on the Twisted Fate. Pacific BYY on the Lucian, and of course, Pacific 5283, or also known as Astarte, on his favorite champion, Blitzcrank.
The problem with Blitzcrank right now is that if Blitzcrank doesn't hit his folks early on, he's just gonna fall off really hard. So Blitzcrank has to make sure that when it comes to the early game, he hits those hooks. If he hits those hooks, especially comboed up with Lucian, if he hits those hooks, I mean that's a kill probably for Pacific because of how powerful Lucian's early game burst is. So they want to make sure that they really hit those, and something happened with the draft.
Yes, somebody seemed to have gotten disconnected. According to one of the members, there may have been some slight bug problems with their, I think with their runes or mastery, so they weren't able to change it. But we should be getting on the way. While we're waiting for them to reconnect back into the game, they will basically pick up the same champions and same band, so that'll be done really quickly. Let's talk about our sponsors, of course. We'd like to thank our sponsors. Let's start with GameX, of course. GameX does provide a new feature for summoners here to allow them to buy shells or e-pins or shells e-pins with their smart token text and Sunseller load. So how do you do this? All you have to do, of course, is to go to the GameX website, which is www.gamex.ph. Once you're there, all you have to do is select the game you are playing and then select the e-pin amount you want. After that, click add to cart, and then click on the shopping cart. After you select the shopping cart, click checkout, and it will prompt you to enter your mobile number. After entering your mobile number, which of course has to be Smart, Sun, or Token Text, a verification code will appear. All you have to do then is send the verification code to 3161, and once it's confirmed and you have sufficient load, you will receive the ePIN directly to your phone.
I can't really say how convenient this is for everybody. I mean, you don't have to go to the mall anymore or go to 7-Eleven to pick up these Garena shells. So really, it's such a convenient feature. So thank you, GameX, for that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Of course, I'd like to thank our other sponsors as well. We have Razer providing our headsets and other peripherals like our keyboard and mouses for our pro players and as well as us, and including, of course, Philips for our monitor. Thank you again to all our sponsors. I'd like to personally thank, of course, Trippy Customs for my jacket. Do you have anybody else you'd like to thank?
I'd like to ask for a jacket then again, but yeah, if you want to check out some of my content, you can go to my YouTube page at youtube.com/user/MrAkinTV. If you'd like to check that out, I'd really appreciate it.
All right. So thank you again to all our sponsors. Well, we also have our watch and win, by the way. I almost forgot about that. For all the summoners who are watching now, you have a chance to win a 4-win IP boost. It's very simple to win. All you have to do is watch the game, and as the game progresses, codes will appear at the middle of the screen at the bottom area. And all you have to do is probably copy those numbers or those combinations, and go to our LOL client and click on the game shop. Once you're in the game shop, you have to click on to the codes tab button at the bottom left, and then it will ask, there's an area there where it will prompt you to enter down the code. So enter the code there and click submit. If you're the first one to type this in ahead of all the other summoners, you will receive the 4-win IP boost. By the way, each code is available to everybody, can only be used once, but there will be more than one code each time, so everybody has an equal chance of winning.
Yeah, and this is so helpful, especially if you're new to the game. I mean, you always want that 6,300 IP champion, which takes so long if you grind that out in a normal game. So why not just use this 4-win IP boost and get that so much faster? You can get that Lucian or that Jinx. You can get that so much faster with this IP boost, so it's really helpful.
Yeah. So, alright, so back to the pick and ban phase. You can see the champions have been finally locked in. And we're just gonna wait for the game timer to count down before we start the game. So while we're waiting, I'll just bring up other news. Of course, we also have. I'd just like to let our viewers know that Rampage tickets are still being sold here in the Garena office. It will be available till the end of the week, I believe, which is July 19, Monday till Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And there will be a lunch break between 1 to 2 p.m. So no tickets will be sold at that time. Tickets are priced at 301,000 for the premium tickets. In case you're asking if there are still premium tickets, yes, there are, but there's only a few tickets left, less than 100 if I'm not mistaken. So this is really your last chance to get those premium tickets. So first come, first serve. You might want to swing by probably Monday or Tuesday to pick up those last few precious premium tickets. They do have an additional skin aside from the Hecarim skin, and also they also include a chair for watching the show.
Yeah, and these skins are just so rare to get by. I mean, we don't have skin shops in Philippines, so I mean, you really want to get these skins early on. So definitely go check out those premium tickets.
Yeah. And just for you guys who don't know, it's actually Arcade Hecarim that will be included on those tickets. So really exciting stuff. I can't wait to get my own.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely do want that Arcade Hecarim. I mean, Arcade Zone looks beautiful. Arcade Hecarim probably looks just as good.
Yeah. All right. So what else? Oh yes, there's also on the Rampage we have the PGS. Or sorry, the PGS All-Star match, where you get to all you have to do is go to the League of Legends Philippines forums and vote for your favorite All-Star player. Now, basically, there are some rules. The rules are all located on the in the forums rather, but just to let you guys know, for you to be eligible to vote, your account has to be made prior to July 1. So any new account made July 1 and later will not be counted, as well as those that aren't linked to any League of Legends account. One more thing I'd also like to point out is that the accounts prior to July 1 have to be active, which means they have been somebody must have played within probably last June. If they didn't play any game last June, those counts are not considered active and won't be counted in the votings for the forums. All right, so don't forget to vote for your favorite All-Star players right now. Really exciting stuff. I can't wait to see who's going to be playing in the All-Stars in the PGS in Rampage 2040.
Yeah, definitely. All-Star games are always so much fun. I mean, you've seen how great it is when it comes to the World All-Stars, and we've seen such great talent. And definitely when it comes to the Philippines, we have our own talent. We have great talent in Philippines, and they have awesome mechanical skills. When you see them all come together as both teams when it comes to All-Star, I mean, that's just going to be so much fun. We're going to see so many good games.
That's right. So don't forget to go head on over there and vote for your favorite players so that they can represent one of the teams. There will be two teams basically that will go head to head there, and I think there might be even 1v1 matches. So that will be really exciting to see who is the king of their lanes.
Yeah, skill matches are so much fun to watch because you can see people just really. There's so much strategy involved in it, because you have to think about the matchups. It's 1v1, and when it comes to the lanes, you have to make sure that you have great pushing power. So there's just so much strategy involved in it.
All right, so the game will be on very soon right now. Let's talk about the lineup. So what do you think is gonna happen with the particular lineup from Pacific and Team Wargods?
I think that Pacific needs to make sure that they can hit their skill shots. Because if you can hit, for example, that Blitzcrank, that's really going to be so important. I think that's the key to the game right now. Because if Blitzcrank doesn't get his hooks going early on, he's just going to fall off so hard compared to, for example, the rest of the WG team. I mean, for WG, you have such great spikes when it comes to the late game. So when you have a Blitzcrank that falls off, I mean, that's going to be such a big liability when it comes to team fights. So you want to make sure that you get the Lucian Blitzcrank bot lane rolling. And I think that's, if they get that rolling, I mean, I think Pacific has a really good shot at this game, especially because you have the Twisted Fate, which has so much utility and has such great map presence. Even early on, after level 6, he has that Destiny.
Yeah.
It really lets him roam and just give so much pressure to both lanes. So I think that if they can get bot lane rolling, I mean, that's just the key to the game for Pacific.
Yeah, for Team Wargods, I think particularly JLC and Poisanti have been doing very well in the GPL. They've been probably the two most consistent players in their team in almost every matchup. Of course, Trevor and Stronger also had their shining moments when when they're on the mid lane, and we've seen them do quite well as well in their respective roles. For the AD care for Wargods, we have Swez and of course Ochi. They've been swapping AD carries once in a while here, and so far both of them have been struggling in the laning phase. If you ask me, although Ochi did do very well in his game yesterday rather against Team Maki Esports. We'll have to see if he can continue to improve in his champion pool as the game goes on. Alright, so the game has started. There is a slight pause, probably some last minute adjustments on their settings, and we will be on our way.
Yeah, when it comes to the top lane though, I think that this Jace matchup is really bad for Aatrox. Especially because of how used to the Jace matchup Wargods is. Because Wargods has just been playing that Jace so often. Especially because of how powerful Jace's poking power is in this patch when it comes to getting the Essence Reaver really early on. I mean, that's just going to be hell for Aatrox when Jace just starts poking really hard. I mean, Aatrox is not going to have no way of really countering that, especially if they turn into just a farming game top lane.
Alright, I'd just like to say hello again to everybody who's watching, and just for those who just tuned in, it's actually Wargods and Team Pacific going on their first match of the day. And of course, I'd like to say hello to our moderator, Job Serenity, and of course all the GMs who are present here. We have GM Spade, GM Rob, we have GM Java, we have GM Skylar, and of course GM GG Ragin as well. Alright, so on to the game. We're just waiting for the game to resume, and I'm really excited to see how this game plays out, especially from Wargods with quite a little bit different lineup this time around. We've, of course, I was actually surprised that Stronger went for the Castle in the mid lane. I thought JSU might be using the Castle again in the top lane, but he decided to go for the Jace. He actually played a very strong Jace in one of his games previously, although they lost that game. JSC did very well on that Jace. And I think JSC is probably one of the strongest top laners currently in the PGS.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I was first worried with WG just switching roles too much. I think that switching roles really gives a problem when it comes to getting used to those matchups. I mean, if you switch roles, you're gonna have to know like 2 more matchups. You're gonna have to know 2 more lane matchups. I mean, that's a huge problem when it comes to knowing your matchups, because you have to know these matchups to really get the advantage early on when it comes to the laning phase. They're so important. So I was really scared for WG. I was surprised actually by how good Trevor rotated with his matchups. I mean, when he went top lane, when he goes jungle, I mean, it's really surprising that he knows the kit of his champion well. I mean, he can play the Lee Sin, he can go top, he can go mid, and I'm just really surprised by how flexible WG has been so far.
Yes. Alright, so the game has resumed. Oh, another pause once again. So, we'll just have to wait for this pause to unpause once again. Alright, so we're actually looking at Team Pacific right now. And that actually reminds me, Aatrox being picked up by Pacific Shot. I'm really excited for the new skin coming up for Aatrox. That mecha skin looks really awesome. I can't wait for it to land on the live servers.
And actually, there's been some rumors about what Victoria's skin comes out Season 4, and they say that it could be Aatrox actually. So that's going to be definitely something very interesting to watch. But when it comes to Season 4 Victoria skins, I'm really hoping for a Lucian skin. I mean, Lucian has very few options for skins. He only has 2 so far, the Super Fan set of course, and the hired gun Lucian. So I really hope it's going to be Lucian, especially because he's going to get nerfed next patch. So I'm really hoping it becomes a victorious Lucian skin. That would really put some more play into him.
Yeah. Alright, so again, the game has been paused. Whew, looking at this, so far actually nobody's picked up any items. Boy Santi seems to have got disconnected again. That's why probably another pause was done by Team Wargods here. But Boy Santi was able to reconnect quite quickly. Looking at the summoner spells, both supports actually opting for the ignite here, so you can expect a very hard kill bottom lane here from both sides.
Yeah, that's not surprising for a Blitzcrank. I mean, for Blitzcrank, when you get a Blitzcrank beam, that's definitely already a kill lane. So you want to make sure in Blitzcrank you get the ignite. Zyra a little bit surprising. I mean, Zyra is a poke champion, so I wouldn't really expect her to get in range for the ignite. Of course, we've seen some pros run ignite on Zyra, but of course, I think that exhaust is a more solid pick.
I think so too. And alright, so let's see if there'll be any early invades. Pacific seems to be all grouped up together here. I think they will try to do some early shenanigans here in the mid lane. As you can see, they're probably going to try to invade the red lizard of Team Wargods. They do get spotted right away by that ward placed down by Team Wargods. Cleared out right away with the sweeper from Pacific. Pacific on a 4-man or 5-man charge. They really want to take this red buff away from Team Wargods.
I think that's a really good decision by Pacific because early game, they can win these fights. But you have Blitzcrank with the hooks. I mean, that just takes away one member from WG. So, if you engage early on, I think that Pacific really has a great shot at it. Especially because right now, oh, are we going to see counter invades? That's really interesting right now. I think WG is going to counter invade blue. So, I mean, counter invade red. They're both going to try to get each other's red. So, this is really interesting turn of events here. So right now I think they're each just gonna go try to steal each other's buffs and then just go back to a regular laning phase. And I don't think there's gonna be a hard engage right now, actually.
Yeah, I think Pacific might be actually just baiting them out, but they're still very undecided. You see, they're thinking of going back to their own red buff, but then they decide to stick around on the red buff. And one thing that I think might be really good for Pacific is that since they may not know this just yet, but Suez is actually all alone in the bottom lane, so after they pick up red, if Blitzcrank can pull up a nice hook on Suez, they could actually pick up first blood as well.
Yeah, so definitely, I think that they should just stick to this. I mean, if you waste time just trying to go back and defend red, and so happens that you do lose red, I mean, you're just gonna lose so much time there, and that time is so important, especially in the early game, because you want to hit level 2 first. So if WG gets back in lane and hits level 2 first, they're just gonna go hard engage and look for those early trades. And those early trades are so important to hit level 2 first, because if you hit level 2 first, you have that extra ability that really lets you trade better.
Yeah. And actually, I just realized now that Wargods is not a team that likes to do the buddy system that was popular back in the day. They did do it a few times, but JLC really likes to do the solo farm. He likes to farm ahead, get ahead, and he likes to fight a lot. And with that, that's something that Wargods may have to deal with in the future if something like that happens once again.
And yeah, JLC has proven that he's so good at that as well, and I think he should stick to that until the teams call him out for it. I mean, you see teams knowing that he's going to do it, and nobody just tries to counter him. I mean, they let him just split push, and this is so bad for other teams. We saw it in the Maki game yesterday. Of course, it didn't happen today, but yesterday we saw that how effective the split push kill was. So JLC proving that he's such an efficient farmer. Great mechanics, can really split push really well.
Yes. Alright, so Misery will steal the red buff. It will be basically a mirror from the opposite side of the map. You can see here Suez trying to snipe away with his arrow there, but unable to pick up the red buff for himself. Pacific 5-2 A3 on the Blitzcrank trying to isolate Suez from the minions right now. So definitely Lucian will have an easy time of last hitting those minions without any return damage coming from the AD carry Team Wargods.
Yeah, and here's the problem with Blitzcrank again in the bottom lane matchup. Even though you're able to zone out Lucian, Zyra just has great range. So she's gonna poke out Blitzcrank. I mean, after you try to hit your hook, which is a 15-second cooldown or so, you're just gonna get poked for that rest of that 15 seconds. So it's really a hard matchup for Blitzcrank here unless he gets his hook.
Yeah, definitely those hooks will be the most important part for the Blitzcrank here. He has to be careful. JLC was gonna try to engage onto Aatrox here. Aatrox playing smart, realizing that there was trouble coming from behind. So a successful escape coming from Jace there, and rotation coming from Trevor onto his own blue buff.
Yeah, and surprising by how early that gank from Lee Sin was. I mean, you'd expect Lee Sin to try and go Wraiths first possibly, just to want to get the levels first, because it's quite unfavorable to try to go in at a low level, because you could die there very easily, especially because if you're Lee Sin without early items, you won't have much damage, nor will you have much tankiness. So I thought that was a really surprising early gank. Of course, it worked out for them. He didn't really lose much of his health, so I think that was a good decision, but at the same time, very risky one.
Alright, the game has been paused once again. You can see wards have been placed in the bush in the bottom lane, where as starter 5 to 8-3 on the Blitzcrank is. So Wargods should be able to avoid most of his hooks without much trouble, as long as unless of course he does a really good way of baiting them into a fake hook and picking up a hook there. But Trevor and Poisandy both get disconnected, so it feels like Wargods may be experiencing some connection issues right now.
I'm not quite unfamiliar with connection issues. I mean, at home, disconnects all day, so I mean, it's something I can really relate with, and it's just part of the game, really, and it's an unfortunate part of the game, but it happens, especially because of how unstable the internet really is here in the Philippines. But right now, with the Blitzcrank camping that bush, I think that's a great idea, but if it's warded, that's not good for Blitzcrank, because chances are, if they can see you in the bush, you're gonna miss your hooks. But then again, if he's able to just take away these wards, and if he was in the bush by himself, and without vision, without opponent vision, that would be just so effective, because it's really hard to dodge a blind hook. It's really hard to dodge a hook you can't see. So
especially with the skin he's using right now, he's using the Eye Blitzcrank. Those hooks, the line isn't very clear. All you see is a light.
yeah, kind of like Steel Legion Lux. I mean, Steel Legion Lux is probably one of the few champions that get a buff because of his skin. I mean, I can't even see Steel Legion Lux's stuns because of how light the color is, so it really blends in too well with the environment. So then again, skins sometimes play a part in this competitive matchups.
Alright, so back in the bottom lane here, you can see here Swez is trying to pick up those minions that he is behind right now. 15 to 7 right now in favor of VYY. VYY actually a pretty good AD carry in my opinion, even way back in the Manila Eagle days. We'll have to see if the old duo here in the bottom lane can bring back some magic.
Yeah, definitely. I really love how good VYY is in this Tristana. He's definitely one of the original godfathers of the Tristana when it comes to the PGS. I mean, this Tristana game is just so good, and it's just able to really capitalize on the good early game and late game Tristana. So VYY is definitely a very solid AD carry.
Alright, Lee Sin gets spotted by the ward there. Hongchu decides to back away, no problem whatsoever. Twisted Fate is a very interesting pick. Of course, he has his semi-global ability allowing him to gank top and bottom lane even without the teleport. Very popular right now for Twisted Fate, picking up the flash and goes, giving him a lot of mobility, allowing him to land those very important cards.
Yeah, definitely. As long as he gets those yellow cards and is after level 6, Twisted Fate has just so much presence. Because if you can go bot lane, you can probably secure a kill if he, for example, teleports into the bush. You can just go, pick up a yellow card, stun, and that's usually a kill. So Twisted Fate, that's why he's so popular right now. He just has such great map presence. And then again, there you go. There is where Zyra's poke ability comes right in. So she can just hit that poke, hit that stun, and Barrett just goes in right away.
Ooh, gold card landing, but I don't think he'll be able to. Oh, a Cocoon follow up! But still, Stronger has enough HP, so yes, a good job coming from Stronger, surviving that invade. Actually, I think Blitzcrank was just really baiting Poisani to land that was fine. Because that basically gave a prime reason. Oh, a nice hook. I think Trevor might go down here. Yes! And first blood goes over to VYY. Very, very risky initiation coming from Trevor there on the Lee Sin. I don't think that was the best decision for him, especially with the Blitzcrank, and you can see there that the hook really turned in their favor.
Yeah, definitely. Again, when Blitzcrank hits his hooks, that's usually a kill. Especially with the Lucian pick, because Lucian, again, early game burst is so strong. After level 3, Lucian has his full combo. So after you hit that hook, I mean, how can you even bother combating that burst of Lucian unless of course you have barrier, which none of them picked up.
Yeah, alright, so Wargods experienced again some internet connection problems once again. Ooh, it's definitely going to be a very difficult game for Wargods if they continue to disconnect like this. This could really, give Pacific a slight advantage, especially with those slight delays.
Yeah, and the problem is if you're disconnected, it means you probably have some latency issues as well. So again, Team Wargods need to get their internet connection fixed and get the thing sorted out. Because when it comes to team fights, if you disconnect, I mean, what happens there?
Yes.
I mean, that's just a huge problem for them.
Okay, so here Wargods are reconnecting back into the game. I think this game is going to be very interesting, especially with the lineup of Wargods, since they are a late game. They have very strong late game here. Like you said, if their connection gets stabilized as the game progresses, they should be able to clean this game out. But with the early lead coming from VYY here, you can see he's already picked up 1 kill, and he does actually, surprisingly, he has actually caught up in CS already. So it's actually not so bad for Team Wargods.
Yeah, but you can see right now that Cassidy actually has a CS lead on Twisted Fate. And that's a problem, because if you let Cassidy farm all day, when it comes to the late game, he's just going to be a monster. So you want to make sure that as Twisted Fate, you have that zoning potential. Twisted Fate is a great range champion, AP carry, that can really just zone out a lot of champions if played properly. So you want to make sure that if you have your yellow card up, you just go right away for those exchanges. So what they want to do right now, Pacific needs to make sure with that Twisted Fate that they can zone out that Cassidy. Because you don't want to let Cassidy farm up. Even if he doesn't get many kills, Cassidy that's just farmed so well, just becomes a monster when it comes to the late mid. So you want to make sure that really he doesn't get any of those farms.
Yeah, that's the reason why we'll be seeing some nerfs coming in for Cassidy and Lucian, since they both are very strong champions. We got lane bully on Lucian and the super late game power of the Cassidy here. So we'll have to see how those changes will affect the players in the upcoming patch.
Yeah, again, I think that the nerf to Cassidy isn't actually as bad as the nerf to Lucian, because the nerf to Lucian puts his range at 500. That is basically lower than even Vayne. That's how bad his nerf is right now, and basically that means that the lane bully Lucian is probably going to get outpoked the whole game. So I think that's such a bad nerf to Lucian. I don't think it's going to be very playable after this next nerf.
Yes, I agree. So they are buffing though his dash and his ultimate a little bit, but I don't think it'll be enough to compensate for his 500 range.
Definitely not. I mean, the whole point of Lucian's early game ability to bully people is that he has the range to poke them, both poke and to burst. So that Q really was so helpful in poking down people, especially because you had connected with a minion and then lead it up to another champion, which probably was the support, and you really allows you to poke the support. And really losing that range is so detrimental to Lucian, because now that means you get to proc your passive less, you get to poke less, and your burst is still the same, but at the same time, when people can just outpoke you so hard right now with that 500 range, I mean, even Vayne probably can outpoke you now. That's really dangerous. This nerf is really dangerous to Lucian.
Okay, so the game is still paused right now. I think Wargods are still trying to handle their current problem with their connection here. Alright, so actually VYY at his current position right now is actually he's very low in HP here. Although I don't think Wargods will go back to this, especially Wargods Zeus here. I don't think he'll probably re-engage him since he has no mana whatsoever right now, and Mystery is just around the corner here. Maybe even try to help Pacific pick up a kill if he can land the cocoon.
If he can land a cocoon, that'd probably be a kill, but I mean, just the distance between them right now is just too much, I think. So I think what will happen here is that VYY will just back off. I mean, he's too low right now, and at the same time, I don't think WG will really try to go in. I mean, it's too risky, especially with Misery camping River right there. So VYY will probably just back off slowly, and it'll probably just go back to the standard laning phase. I don't think either team will really go for the big risk, especially because you have the pause, and that pause really gives each team time to think about this possible exchange, really thoroughly. So they probably will just go play the safe option here and just back off and just farm regularly.
Right, yeah, at the moment right now though, looking at the minimap, you can see here Cassidy is free farming in the mid lane. So this is actually very good for Team Wargods. While on the other hand, looking at Team Pacific here, both Pacific 5-80 and VY will most likely make it out. Probably pick up a few items right now. Of course, the first blood that was picked up by VY should give him a slight item advantage over Zeus as the game progresses.
Yeah, and I think I'm a bit surprised by Twisted Fate's item choice here. You'd usually see a lot of mid laners go for the double Doran's ring, especially because your ability to zone out Kassadin. So if he went instead for the double Dorans, I think he'll really allow him to zone out Kassadin here. Because it's so important that you zone out Kassadin again. Because of his potential late game, he's just a monster. So that double Doran string really allows you to be more dominant in lane because it really allows you to dish out more damage, especially with the range of Twisted Fate when it comes to his Q. And his Q really lets him zone out Kassadin. So if he puts that double Doran string, suddenly his Q just does that much more damage. So I thought he should have gone with the Dawn String here. Again, that boots probably gives him more mobility when it comes to rotating and zoning and just giving more map presence, but I thought he should have gone with the Dawn String.
Okay, so while the pause is still quite long right now, I'll just like to remind those who are viewing right now the game that we will have watch and win codes appearing as the game progresses. Now, just in case you're interested in how to be able to claim the watch and win item, all you have to do is open your League of Legends game client and click on the shop. When you click on the shop of course will appear, and click on the codes tab at the bottom left. After clicking on the codes tab, there will be an empty area there where you can enter the code and then click submit. Once you click submit, you will receive the 4-win IP boost coming from watch and win.
Yeah, and that would probably be helpful for everybody who wants that watch and win to have that alt tab ready. So you want to make sure you can race everybody else, have your league client open, have it in the shop, and just when you see the watch and win, just immediately just alt tab that really quickly and just put it in, and maybe you can get it.
Yeah, so just a reminder, the codes, there will be about, I think, 6 codes at a time appearing at the bottom of the screen whenever it appears, and each code will be valid for only one summoner at a time. So it's actually first come first serve, pabilisan lang ng type ng code for you to get the code, of course. Alright, so we're gonna take a short break because we're still talking to the teams right now regarding connection issues. We'll be right back after a few minutes. Alright guys, we're back. Alright, the game has been on pause. We didn't really miss much. They just basically went back quite safely. Nothing happened in the bottom lane. Oh, and another pause once again. So I'm not sure if it's coming from Wargods or from Pacific here. The members of Team Pacific, like I said, will be recalling back to base here. You can see that it looks like BYY did try to attempt a gank with Elise here with this jump, but with Wargods all retreating, they weren't able to successfully pull off anything incredible, and now they will go back to base to pick up their first few items.
Yeah, and I think Blitzcrank, when he does recall, I don't think he's going to recall yet, but when he does recall, I think that he should, well actually he is recalling, isn't he? But when Blitzcrank does recall, I do think that he should get that sweeping lens instead of the wards. I think that that sweeping lens will really help Blitzcrank out, especially, and he probably should rush. I think he should rush a sight zone and then take the sweeping lens. To get the sweeping lens, it really allows him to get bush control much more often. So you can just start to camp that bush, clear the wards, and then suddenly his hooks become that much more deadly. Because now you can't see the hook coming. If you can't see the hook coming, I mean, how can you dodge it? So really, if he gets a sweeping lane, I think that really will add to the dominance in lane, especially because, and it is WG. So especially because of how strong Lucian is early, and Lucian already has his first kill. And if Lucian goes back as well, I mean that just really adds to your potential in the early game when it comes to lane. So laning phase is definitely in the favor of Pacific right now because of how powerful their bot lane is. And even though Kassadin is getting a much freer farming situation than Twisted Fate, I think that Twisted Fate will learn that he has to start poking Kassadin more and start to zone him out more. So I think that Pacific right now is just really in the driver's seat, and then it's their game to lose.
Yeah, I agree with you. Alright, so again, another pause. I'm not really sure what's happening on the side of Wargods right now. These games, of course, are played online here. They are playing at their respective locations right now. Team Pacific, I believe, are playing in their shop. Pacific Shop and Wargods are playing at Wargods Gaming Cafe. So apparently, Wargods Gaming Cafe seems to be having some internet connection issues still, and with this might give Wargods some problems with this current game.
A summoner has reconnected.
Alright, so we're still waiting for Wargods to connect back into the game now. As just for you guys' information right now, if ever Wargods are unable to continue this particular match, they will probably forfeit this match to Team Pacific, since the time they do have another 11 or 12, less than 12 minutes right now to stabilize their internet connection or find another option to connect back into the game here. And if Wargods decide not to continue this match, the first game will be awarded to Team Pacific. But of course, this won't be the end of the day. Of course, Wargods still has time to get back in game 2 if ever they do lose this match.
Yeah, and very importantly here is that Riot has a policy, as well as GPL, they have a policy never to remake games unless it's a game bug. So unless it turns out that it is a game bug and not an internet connection problem, they will not remake this game. So even if they complain about the internet connection problem, that was their responsibility to definitely check out that it was working. And so it's just really unfortunate that WG's internet isn't working properly right now.
A summoner has reconnected.
Alright, so I think we're gonna take another short break as we wait for Team Wargods to fix their internet connection issue.
Never mind, we're back.
Yeah, alright, so it looks like Wargods were...
and we're not back again.
Yeah, I guess Wargods still haven't fixed their connection problem. You see another member of Wargods disconnecting from the game once again. This is really bad for Team Wargods. They are undefeated so far, and it would be sad for them to lose due to their internet connection problem.
Yeah, and that maybe explains that they're a bit of weaker performance in the last 2 games in the GPL, of course. Perhaps it was the lag. I mean, you're connecting to Taiwan, so potentially that maybe it was ping playing a part of that. At the same time, it might have been their internet connection. That might also explain why they're lagging out right now. So hopefully they get their internet connection sorted out before the next game.
A summoner has disconnected.
Alright, I think we're gonna take another short pause since Wargods are still trying to connect to the game. Thank you.
A summoner has reconnected. A summoner has reconnected. A summoner has reconnected.
Alright guys, we're back into the game right now, and Wargods will continue to fight this game, but there won't be any more pauses for this game. So Wargods, if they get disconnected, they will have to fight with what do you call this? Basically being down a man whenever someone gets disconnected.
Yeah, it's
Or
gonna
this
be,
handicap short.
yeah, they'll be very handicapped if they get disconnected again. So hopefully WG has their interconnection problem solved. Then again, they let their timer run. So we decided to actually allow them to continue playing, but there will be no more further pauses in the game, so they'll just have to play on.
Alright guys, we're back into the game right now, and Wargods will continue to fight this game, but there won't be any more pauses for this game. So Wargods, if they get disconnected, they will have to fight with what do you call this? Okay na. So resume na ulit. Alright, so score still stands. Pacific does have the first blood a while ago onto Trevor. It does go onto the hands of VYY. Trevor gets spots of Pink Ward in the bush here in the river. He'll be able to clear it out without any problems. Let's see if Wargods will be able to get back into this particular game.
And yeah, as we did call a while ago, Blitzcrank did get a sweeping lens, so we get that, and he got that, so that'll really allow him to control the bush more often. Ooh,
nice hook!
Beautiful hook by Blitzcrank there.
And a nice dash away from VYY, avoiding those vines coming from the Zyra.
So I guess his Q was still on cooldown back then, but I definitely thought that he could have, after that dash, immediately just cancelled it with a Q and probably got on the kill there.
Yes, and Stronger picks up that kill on the Pacific Shotty there. Actually, Trevor going down very, very low, but luckily there he was able to pop out the passive of Atrox there on the Bloodwell, and with that they were able to pick up their first kill of the game.
Again, that's definitely one of Aatrox's strengths, is that how unkillable he is when you allow him to do things like this. So Aatrox is definitely a very hard champion to kill because of his passive. So allowing things like that to happen gives you room to make plays like those. So that really allows you to keep. And wow, another great hook by Blitzcrank, and there goes the kill for Pacific.
Yes, alright, so
And
another
Lucian, beautiful culling right there.
Yeah, we should be seeing some watch and win codes appearing any second now. Let's just wait for those codes. For those who are watching in for that, the code will appear very shortly under there we go, some watch and win codes for you guys. So unahan lang po yan. All you have to do is write those codes in the log line. Of course, I gave the instructions a while ago. You have to go to the in-game store, and the first dragon for Team Pacific snowballing really hard, very fast in this particular game.
Yeah, the thing is, again, as we've called it a while ago, if Blitzcrank gets his hooks in, that's a kill usually, and because they're snowballing so hard, Lucian is already 2-0-1, Blitzcrank has a kill of his own, that really allows them to just secure it. And when it comes to the lane, if they ever even go back to bot lane again in a standard laning phase, I mean, that's just gonna be another huge bully phase for Pacific, because Pacific right now can just snowball this in bot lane. I mean, they can just go bot, try to hit another hook. If they can't hit another hook, they can just hard engage regularly, and also probably a kill for Pacific. So again, Pacific bot lane just doing fantastically right now.
Yeah, so first dragon of the game does go over to Team Pacific, and of course Wargods still doing a really good job of counter jungling the jungle of Team Pacific.
Yeah, and I found it a bit odd right there that they didn't engage right away, so they let W3D Trevor just get away with that. So
Trevor getting caught. Oh, Gold Card flashed out. Another cocoon and a rocket grab. Great combination of skills coming from Pacific. Pacific burning everything Lee Sin had and still picking up the kill, so that's definitely a good turnout for Team Pacific just now.
and we're definitely in hook seed right now. Pacific 5283, getting those hooks in the perfect moment, and that's just beautiful how he gets those hooks. And really, that just is the key to the game right now, and that's the key to them winning, is because they're hitting those hooks in such a key time. I mean, that hook was just perfect. You could not go wrong with that. And if he hits his hooks continuously into the game, I don't even see him falling off anymore.
Yeah, like I said, a start there, 5-80 on that legendary Blitzcrank, hooking once again, perfect combination, an easy kill for BYY, a nice move from Misery. Wow, they're really crushing Team Wargods right now in their base, and a teleport coming from JLC to respond. Yes, he actually does get a return kill there. A nice movement coming from JLC once again. Always spot on with those teleports.
Yeah, and definitely JLC right now, I think he's the best position to try to carry this game. He's 1-0-1, is farming fairly well, and of course his Jace with a Manu Mine already. So I think right now JLC is on his hands right now to just try and look for a way to go camp bot and look for a way to get bot rolling again. I mean, right now you have 0-2-2. You're 0-2 as your AD carry and you're 0-2 as your support. I mean, that's not good at all. I mean, Varus is falling off so hard compared to Lucian. Lucian already has his BF blade, BF sword, and he also has his pickaxe. So, I mean, you're just falling off really hard, and that's not good at all when you're going up against Lucian, who has a great mid-game scaling.
Yeah, that's why, like I said a while ago, I really thought the Ashe would have been a nicer pick, especially for the bottom lane. This would give them a lot more controllable crowd control.
Yeah, definitely. I think that Ashe pick probably would have been much better for now, especially seeing what's happening. Because even though Ashe is 0-2, Ashe is the kind of champion who can still come back from 0-2. So even if Ashe was, again, in this position right now, when it comes to late game, I mean, an arrow is still an arrow. And an arrow still puts you in a 5v4 situation. So I think that Ashe pick would have given them more utility and allowed them to just come back from this much better than they are right now.
Alright, so you can see here Wargods bottom lane trying to tower hug. A hook a while ago from this guy landing on a minion there. You can see the pink ward is being destroyed by 5283. Vine's not landing onto the Blitzcrank, so Blitzcrank will be able to clear out that pink ward once again. And
right now you see Captain is actually just free farming right now. He's 96 to 97 again. They've already evened out in CS, but Captain's just pushing the wave very rapidly. And I think right now what Captain's trying to do is he's trying to push the wave and force Participate to push to get to clear the wave, and force Participate to defend his tower, allowing Captain to just roam more freely.
Oh, another descent, another hook landing again. Oh, so deadly really. I started bringing back those old memories on the Blitzcrank hook.
Yeah, Pacific is living in Hook City right now. I mean, those hooks are just so great to see. When you hit the hook, boom, just that Lucian QWE pass, QWE skills coming off.
Oh,
and then
there
another
go
hook.
again. This is crazy.
Pacific is having a field day right now.
Yeah,
7-0-1 Lucian. Lucian is 7-0-1 at 12 minutes. I mean, he's probably gonna go back and just get IE straight away.
And
I mean,
this would, even though JLC is strong and skill very hard in the late game, I really doubt they'll be able to deal with BYY once they start sieging the towers this early in the game.
yeah, how do you deal? I mean, the question is, how do you even start dealing with a Lucian who has an IE at 13 minutes? I mean, what is the counter to that, really? And he didn't even bother getting bait of the Rune King, so he's just going straight up for the much harder power spike, but much later power spike in the IE. That's how confident he is right now in the 7-0-1 Lucian.
And definitely you have to give props to 5283 making those plays happen for them. And we've always knew that 5283 or Astarte has been very good with those plays, even way back in the day. And it looks like his skill has not faded away at all.
Yeah, definitely. I think that just proves you that mechanics, they just don't go away. I mean, instinct is always there. And 5283, I mean, those hooks, I think if you put anybody else in this position, they would not hit those hooks. I mean, that's just how great mechanics are.
You can see, the bottom lane right now, Wargods using everything just to pick up Lucian, but Lucian is just so ahead that it's no problem for him to deal with all the crowd control. If it was the Ashe arrow, I think they would have picked up the kill.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's just how... I mean, first of all, if you pick Zyra, why not go for the Ashe? I mean, Ashe Zyra is just such a great combo. I mean, they just synergize so well. You've seen them how good Ashrider can be in the EU LCS, and again, we've seen how strong Ashrider can be against the Russo.
Yeah, Shotty getting caught here. Yes, a kill for Wargods stronger though. I thought I was gonna go over to Suz here. Suz definitely needs those kills, but looks like Stronger will pick up that kill for himself. He's now 2-0-1. This is actually pretty good also for Kassadin. Kassadin will probably be the answer to BYY if ever the game continues this way. But it's still gonna be a very hard uphill climb for Wargods. Oh! Another rocket grab landing on the Stronger this time. He does have his shield, but he has nowhere to go. He's forced to flash away. And ooh, was the Brew of Soul? No, actually, Omshi still got Kuma for himself here. A very messy team fight. Wargods really fighting back this time around. They have to be careful. The hook landing onto JLC. My god, I can't believe it. Blind hook still landing.
Hook after hook, he hits all of them. And really that just puts his team in such a dominant position right now. Fortunately, they weren't able to capitalize on that last hook, but still, though, you're able to chunk that damage from that opposing team right now, and that just puts them in a position to actually try and counter this dragon. They can try to oppose this dragon.
Yeah, a really rough fight right now. You see Team shutting down finally Stronger on that Kassadin. Kassadin now 3-1-1 here. Pacific still sticking around for no reason at all. Actually, you can hear Pacific 5-80 trying to chase somebody down. Wants to land another hook, definitely will be another kill if he does land it, but luckily Wargods do get away quite safely this time around.
I was definitely expecting a hook right there, but then again, I think that WG suddenly is just back in the game already with 3-1-1 Kassadin, and he's definitely well farmed. And if you allow Kassadin to get rolling this early, and even though it's near mid game, if you allow him to get rolling this early, I mean his power pack is just going to be amazing when it comes to late game. So what WG wants to do here is get Kassadin the kills, allow Kassadin to snowball a little bit. And when Kassadin does snowball, just stall out until late game. Stall out until late game, let everybody else fall off, and then Kassadin just carries the game.
Yeah, Kassadin already completing his Rod of Ages and picks up a needlessly large rod, so this gives him a nice power spike in ability power. Definitely a matchup against a solution of BYY here. So it will most likely be a fight of the carries here between the AP carry and the AD carry of Team Pacific.
And very importantly, Kassadin is getting a little bit more tankier. So he has Rod of the Ages and he has the Negatron Cloak. So that really allows him to play more into the front lines of WG. So if you have a Kassadin in the front line dealing that damage, and you have a Jace in the back line cooking, and then you have the Varus potentially giving some crowd control, I mean I think that's a really good composition for WG.
Yeah, actually, it's actually not Negatron Cloak, it's actually Magic Mantle here. I think it's probably gonna go for a Murky Chance to give him some tenacity here, especially with the Blitzcrank, and again, Blitzcrank assisting his team picking up another kill.
And those hooks are just so on point right now. I mean, he hits all of them, and and again, WG's smart decision here. They know that top lane, everybody's in top lane, decides to siege tower. And again, that power of that Lucian. Lucian is single-handedly doing so much damage to Varus. Wow!
He won there, and onto the top. He does have his tower to back him up here. Oh, I think he might go down to the Ignite here. Ignite burning down Snow. He actually gets away here. 5-18 trying to pick up the kill point. He finally gets cooked by the Bind. Stronger has to be careful here. 5-18 I believe still has a knock up there, and will probably go down here. Finally, Stronger takes down 5-18 here, but Stronger with the return kill. Actually, Stronger picks up the kill. Hongchu trying to chase down Stronger. Gold card lands in. Wow, definitely very crazy team fight here. Trevor trying to get away. He does get away with it. Ward. Now JNC is trying to go 1-on-1. One more hit. What's JNC doing? What happened there? I think he may have been lagged. He just had one hit to go to kill Choti, but Choti was able to turn it around.
Yeah, what a messy team fight for WG. I mean, I definitely thought WG was in such a dominant position there to go and secure those kills. But suddenly, Shotty just messes that up. I don't see what happened there, actually. Just have no idea how he messed that up, but I think that probably has a lot to do with lag. But at the same time, that was a great play by Pacific there, landing those kills there and just really cleaning that up. I think that was a very messy team fight for WG, and that may have allowed the game to turn around.
Alright, so looking at the towers right now, Wargods actually do have the advantage. They pick up 2 towers so far. Team Pacific, although they picked up a lot of kills in their favor, actually that's the first third of the game for Team Pacific. Dragon will be up quite shortly. I expect probably another fight happening in that area. Misery picking up his own Red Lizard here, and will probably join the rest of the team to try to make some plays.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very important here that WG make sure that they don't engage into a 5v5 right away. Because right now, Lucian is just so fed. He's 8-1-1. He already has his Zeal and his IE. And then, if he goes and
average
engages...
He's probably going to go for a static shift.
Yeah, I mean that average player thing is probably going for the static shift. And that really allows them to push better if they do end up at a another hook by Blitzcrank! Wow, 5283 with that Blitzcrank mechanics. Amazing right now, Hook City.
Looks like 5283 might get some votes here in the PGS All-Stars with the showmanship with this crank.
Yeah, and if he does hit those hooks, if he goes Blitzcrank and All-Stars, he has my vote, definitely. Another hook by 5283!
This is crazy how he does those hooks. Really cool stuff.
It's just unbelievable how WG looks like they're not even expecting it anymore. I mean, wow. Just beautiful hooks.
And what's so nice about it, the way he executes those hooks is that you just really won't expect it. It's like out of nowhere. Like other discounts, they're like patiently waiting. Here, he's like reflexes.
Yeah, I think that's part of the. I think that what he's doing right now is that he's actually quick moving. So while you're moving, you execute in between a move. So that really makes it unexpected for WG, because when Blitzcrank is facing, for example, to the right, and suddenly his hook comes out to the left, I mean that's really unexpected. So really great mechanics by 5283 right now.
Alright, the game slows down a little bit here. 5283 is aware of the members of the Wargods. They're trying to make a hook here, baiting it for that pink ward in that area, trying to force Poisanity to go clear that ward, but what they're not aware is that most of the members of Pacific are quite far away. You can hear Hongchu and Misery are coming closer. They will clear out that ward using that sweeper here. 5283 using his skills to try to pick up pink ward. Wow, and he even dodges that sonic wave coming from Lee Sin.
Yeah, and again, 5283 is just really instilling the fear into WG. They're starting to respect his hooks, and they're starting to back away from him, even though Pacific is nowhere near Blitzcrank right now. So 5283 again is the start of this game so far. His hooks are just on point, and it's allowing Lucian to get fed. Again, as we called earlier, he does have the static chip already. So what Pacific's probably going to do here is they're going to start siege towers and start push really quickly and start sieging Pacific, start sieging WG towers. Those towers.
And here comes BYY here. Look at the first damage. Oh, uses the heal to survive that. Hongchu does for the follow-up, does the slow, and picks up the kill for himself. While there's a messy fight here in the Dragon Pit area, the rest of the member of Pacific has backed away. Pacific will go for their first dragon, or for their second dragon in the game. Oh, a dragon steal attempt by Trevor here, not landing it perfectly though. So Pacific does pick up the dragon for themselves, and he does a good job here.
By 5283.
Stronger here will have. He does pick up a kill before going down here. So a very risky play coming from him, but nonetheless. Woo, definitely very scary Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank is down at this now, so there's definitely the time for Team Wargods to do something about it.
Yeah, definitely. While that hook by Blitzcrank was so good, I mean, that attempted steal by Trevor was so close as well. And I think if Trevor was able to do that, that would have been worth it for WG. But since he missed it, I mean, now that you engaged in 5v5 against Pacific, who's clearly so ahead right now, and that Lucian is so fed and dealing so much damage, I think now it looks like a bad decision, because right now if you're going to engage up against this Pacific team who has a fed Twisted Fate and a fed Lucian, how do you win against that? How do you win against all that damage?
Yeah. Alright, actually there's some watch and win codes right now, but honestly I don't know how you can actually tighten those cooldowns with all these Blitzcrank hooks. And once again another hook landing! Poisanity will probably go down to this. Okay, it's nowhere in. And yes, Hongju picks up that kill. He's now dominating. Blitzcrank really carrying his team on his back right now.
That Blitzcrank 1-2-10 right now. I mean, he has his Moby boots on. He's not even building tank anymore. This Blitzcrank is just so confident right now. 5-2-8-3 with his hooks, just flawless right now. He already has his Moby boots just to rotate faster, move quicker, get more hooks. He has his Talisman of Ascension, give his team more speed.
Everything about speed. It's just all about the speed and precision of those hooks.
All about speed and hooks. Hooks all day. And that's what they're going to try to do. They're just going to try to push this, try to engage into team fight, and just try to get those hooks. Suddenly, one member down for Pacific. One member down for WG, I mean. So, after those hooks, I mean, that's just such a good... This is such a strong mechanic for Pacific right now, because
here he comes again.
Another hook potentially.
No need to hook, he
didn't even need the hook right there. That's just how.
He's just so fast. I think he'll go down here to the Jace.
Oh!
Now that was an unnecessary hook, but still looks so great.
It doesn't even matter. That was just a beautiful hook to watch. Right now, how do you stop? The main question of this game is, how do you stop a 10-1 Lucian?
Oh!
What destroyed Poisanity with a calling? How do you stop an 11-1 Lucian? I mean, wow.
Yeah, and you can hear Shotty trying to back away here. Stronger decides not to chase over Now, actually, it's actually 3 towers apiece here. Lots of minions in the top lane, but they are realizing that the rest of Team Pacific are coming to the top lane. Wargods have high mobility here, so I think they should be able to get away from this quite safely. The ultimate of TF is still down, so definitely Destiny won't be up to stop them from escaping.
Yeah, did you see how much damage Lucian put out right there? I mean, he basically just took out Poisanity with one culling. I mean, that's just how strong Lucian is, and he has to be cleared right now. They definitely want to focus all that fire on Lucian. So when they do engage, decide to engage on team fight, they should try to catch out Lucian first. Yeah, because Lucian right now unstoppable when it comes to dealing that damage. Yeah. He just shreds through everybody.
11, 1, and 3, and 7, 0, and 8 on that TF. Lots of kills coming from Team Pacific. Is 9 to 21. More than double the kill count on the side of Team Pacific.
Yeah, but very importantly, the gold beam isn't actually that big. Not as big as the kill count would look. So right now, WG definitely is still in it. I mean, that Gaston is still 6-4-1, so definitely Gaston still has a few kills on his belt. So
oh, first hook that misses. I guess Gaston is still quite sexy to avoid those hooks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we can see that. I mean, 5-80 was expecting that hook. I mean, it was such a surprise to all of us that he missed it. His hooks has just been on point all day. So definitely, it's very uncommon to see him miss a hook. Definitely very uncommon.
Probably people gonna say time to increase Gaston's hitbox so they can land those hooks much better.
Yeah, time to nerf Gaston even more, guys.
Alright, so Lee Sin will be going to the top lane. Probably just try to shove the lane back towards the tower of Pacific Shots here. Shotty is will see Lee Sin there. Wargods need to come up with a game plan. Most likely they're gonna probably focus on pushing down the lane because they can't seem to win those team fights.
Yeah, but Pacific just needs to start to engage these team fights. I mean, there's no way they can lose team fights at this point. They should just try to push, try to siege a tower, and just try to force team fights. Because they force a team fight, I mean, they're just unstoppable. They're just like a wrecking ball if they just go for those team fights. And here we go, the things are coming out. They're definitely gonna try to look engage this one.
Yeah, VYY surprisingly decides not to complete his Blade of the Ruin King. He picks up a pickaxe instead of rushing his Blade of the Ruin King. So I'm not sure what he's gonna build that item into. Most likely we're gonna see maybe a Last Whisper on that Lucian, but it's really hard to say at this point in time.
Yeah, and I think that he's looking for that pickaxe. He's probably gonna look for. I think now he's just so far ahead right now. He can even go for an Essence Reaper. I mean, we've seen people use that Essence Reaper for utility, for more sustain, because that allows you to shred more armor, and aside from that, really allows you to pick up more mana. And that's what Lucian needs right now, especially if he's just putting out his ability so quickly. He's just gonna lose. He's not gonna have enough mana to really sustain for a team fight. So he's probably looking for that Essence Reaper, maybe potentially to just look for that sustain more.
Yeah, look at that 1Q, basically a quarter HP of Wargods Stronger going there.
Yeah, that's just
and actually, if he crits, he'll probably take down Stronger in one full rotation of kills.
Yeah, I definitely do think that Lucian now is so powerful that one of his Q auto, W auto, E auto combo probably would take out one Wargods member. So I mean, Lucian right now is just to be feared. He's just so scary, and he even has a CS lead over PYY. So I mean, over Varus right now. So I mean, definitely very dominant position.
Now let's see how Wargods will respond to this. I'm really excited to see how these team fights will play out. Like you said, it looks like Pacific does have the upper hand, especially in these team fights. 5-2-8-3, again, waiting patiently for those very deadly hooks. Lee Sin finally landing that one. Oh, he gets another hook! And gets stunned. They decide not to chase. They're gonna go be happy with the dragon. And a late, a snipe coming from JLC there. Well, looks like Pacific are trying to chase over, but they decide not to continue chasing the rest of the members of Wargods into their jungle.
Yeah, that was a bit odd. I think Pacific right now was in a key position to really outchase that because they were just so grouped together. And another Blitz Jungle would have been another kill for Pacific. So, ooh, oh no! I just get so excited when I see him try to look for those hooks. I mean, every time he gets a hook, it seems like it's another kill for Pacific. So his hooks are just so on point right now, and I thought Pacific should just push this out. I mean, there's no need to recall. They're just so ahead right now in terms of items and everything else. They should just try to push this wave out. Just keep pushing, and if everything gets into a team fight, that's just already a win.
Yeah, actually, even Hongchu on the Twisted Fate right now is just so fed. His CS and his kills and assists is just so huge. And Stronger can't even take down 5-2-8-3, and see the range of Virus Ultimate not landing onto 5-2-8-3. Would have been definitely a much different game if it was an Ashe.
Yeah, I think that was actually a mistake for a hook there, but still so nice to watch. But I think that hook actually caused 5-2-8 to die right there because Hongchu already had his yellow card out, so he didn't need the hook. But then again, we still love to see those hooks anyway.
Well, at least he's able to support his team, and because of that, his team actually picks up an ace just for the Blitzcrank.
Yeah, I think this is a...
He's basically pulling attention from the whole Wargods team. Everybody's spending their ultimates just onto the Blitzcrank. It's not worth it.
Yeah, and again, you know the scary part is, even though they're going for the Blitzcrank barely died. He's only 1 for 13, which is actually considerably less deaths than Varus. So right now, Pacific are just on point with this strategy. Let people chase Blitzcrank and let Blitzcrank get the hooks, and that's a kill for us. So just great strategy from Pacific.
Yeah, so first Baron of the game goes to Team Pacific here. And definitely a big play for Team Pacific. Pacific with a nice gold lead. This game probably will go in favor of Team Pacific the way things are turning out. And I'm pretty sure Game 2, Wargods will definitely first ban Blitzcrank.
Blitzcrank's gonna definitely. Wargod is just gonna ban, just without even thinking about it. I think they're probably just gonna go ahead and ban Blitzcrank, or possibly maybe they even try to pick Blitzcrank. I mean, you never know. I mean, we've seen WG just be very flexible with their picks and be very flexible with their champion pool. So you never know. Maybe they want to try to out Blitzcrank 5-2-8-3. So well, we'll just have to look out for that.
Well, yeah, actually, Poison has done really well in most of the supports he's picked up definitely a large pool of supports this season. We've seen him go on Nami, we've seen him go on Braum. I think he even won Leona one time, and he does very, very well in almost every champion he picks up.
Yeah, I'd actually really love to see Poisanity on Blitzcrank. I mean, we've seen Poisanity hit his bubbles on Nami, his hooks on Thresh. I'd love to see how he'd go with hooks on Blitzcrank. I mean, 5-8 has shown he has solid mechanics, he can hit his hooks. But what about Poisanity? Poisanity probably has one of the best mechanics in terms of the PGS right now. So I'd love to see him on how he'd do on Blitzcrank.
But I have to burst your bubble, but I really doubt Pacific in Game 2 that it will go to Wargods. Since Wargods will be second pick in the next game, so they really have to ban out the Blitzcrank if they don't want to have to deal with it.
Yeah,
I'm sure Pacific will this time around pick up the Blitzcrank as first pick.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they were actually able to catch Wargods out of them out of surprise here. Ooh, look at the damage coming from the Calling. BYY is shredding them, and a double kill. And you can't really deal with the damage of BYY right now.
I mean, usually Lucian's calling is for shredding and for chasing down, but right now BYY is just such far ahead that he's using his culling to kill people straight up. I mean, this is how much shred BYY has, and of course he actually goes for the last whisper right there. Great choice again, because everybody else on WG is trying to build armor, trying to suppress the power of Lucian right now. So right now I don't see how Pacific is going to throw this game away. I mean, how can they? You have a 16-1 for Lucian, you have a 9-0 Squad Fate. How else could this go, really?
Yeah, definitely. And they actually still have Baron buff up. They could potentially end this game in the next few minutes here, but I think they may stall this game a little bit longer. Probably pick up another inhibitor before closing out this game.
I actually thought that they could have definitely just closed it out right there. I mean, there's only 2 members of WG near the base, and all 5 members of Pacific right there. And with the attack speed of Lucian right now and the damage he's dealing, I definitely think that it would have been a just a sure victory right away from Pacific if they just continued to push that out.
Yeah. Oh, another hook again! Stronger getting caught, my god, he's just so scary on that Blitzcrank.
Yeah, and again, I think WG right now, it's their prerogative to just go ahead and ban Blitzcrank, because I mean, if Pacific gets Blitzcrank again, I mean, the same result. I mean, all the hooks coming out from Blitzcrank right now, so on point. It's scary. It's so scary right now.
Yeah, and actually, he doesn't even have full cooldown reduction just yet. Once he completes his next item, I think he will have full cooldown reduction, and his hooks will come out even more often.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is gonna have a hook basically if we're doing rough math here. Probably a hook around every 10 seconds. I mean, a hook every 10 seconds. Wow, and especially since he hits so many of those hooks. I mean, that just allows the Pacific to just capitalize and just take one member out of the team instantly. And right now, I think Pacific, all they have to do is just keep pushing. Just go back. Right now they're not near the base because they went back, but now they can just go and recollect themselves, just push mid, take the Nexus. I mean, that's all they have to do right now.
Yeah, and you can see how scared Team Wargods right now is. They've got a large amount of wards in their blue area right now, covering the whole area. They're trying to protect themselves from the hooks from Blitzcrank, but it's just not working.
Yeah, because Blitzcrank hooks can come from anywhere. Come from the bush, can come from even other side of the forest. I mean, that's just how good 5283 is this game. I mean, wow, what a dominating performance by 5283. I mean, he's just building right now. He's building his Frozen Heart. Is that? Yeah, he's building it right now, and
yeah. So that basically maxes out his cooldown reduction. He gets 20 from the Talisman and another 20 from the Frozen Heart. So he's actually more tanky at the same time here. So he should be able to deal with the damage coming from Team Wargods.
And yeah, Pacific again picking up another dragon.
And another hook again from this track, landing onto Zyra this time around.
Oh, just as I said, they picked up another dragon. Trevor goes in and steals the dragon. Wow!
Nice turnaround for Team Wargods. A dragon and basically acing everybody who was in the dragon pit, picking up 3 kills there, while Misery and VYY were still pushing in the top lane.
Suddenly, WG catches out Pacific and just, wow, that could be actually be a little bit of a turnaround for WG right there, because now they can actually look to clean them out. Because right now, you can't escape from this. You can't escape. Oh, just as I was saying that though, Lucian just shredding damage and forces Cassidy to go for that Zhonya's arrow blast.
Oh, look at that crit coming out from VYY, picking up a kill over Poison here. Trevor, I don't think it's really a smart idea, even if there's 2 of them. I feel like the Lucian could still actually outburst them quite easily.
Well, actually, his Blade of the Rune King is down, so I mean, maybe he could do it, but I really doubt with his Blade of the Rune King down. But potentially, if his Blade of the Rune King was up, I think he would have just gone straight for it. I mean, 2 people, Cassidy low. All you have to do is just E straight away for Cassidy, hit 2 autos, go for a Q again. I mean, that's just it for that. So, but right now, Lucian's just unstoppable.
Yeah, Lucian actually almost with his complete item build. He already has Blade of the Rune King and Last Whisper. Looks like he's gonna be building into a Banshee's build just to negate the damage coming from Cassidy. And once he has that, it will be almost impossible really to pick up a kill on him.
Yeah, and potentially right now, I think he could also go for Zephyrs after. I mean, he could just look to sell those boosts and just try to start building with Zephyr, because he doesn't need the movement speed right now. You don't need the movement speed when you can just shred people right away, and that Zephyr really gives you more damage, so potentially he could sell his boots and look for Zephyr later on.
Yeah, actually looks like a kill again, this time around by Hongchu over onto the Zyra. Looks like VYY decided to not continue with the Banshee build and goes for a Guardian Angel instead. So definitely a nice pick up kill for him.
Yeah, and this just makes Lucian just unkillable, because once Lucian's dead, he can just allow his teammates to just go hover around and clean up and just revive just on the spot. Oh, another hook by Blitzcrank!
Trevor getting caught by the Spoon as well here. I think he might not be able to get away. Yes, they are finally able to take out Trevor. This allows them to take up another Baron. This will potentially be the 2nd Baron of the game.
Again, Pacific, I think Pacific can just end it right here, but decide why not just stall the game out, take another Baron, just be really safe with it, and even pad the stats. I mean, why not pad Lucian's stats, give him a bigger KDA. I mean, he's 17-1-5 right now, let's just give him more stats.
Yeah, and Wargods realized there's no way they could really contest that Baron. Decided to pick up a turret here in the bidding, which is actually, I think, a good position. Oh, a flash hook! Oh my god, it still lands! And Zeus gets murdered by the members of Team Pacific.
5-8-3, I mean, how many words can you use to describe his hooks right now? Unstoppable, unbelievable, godlike, I mean, wow. His hooks right now, just carrying his team on the back, really. Without those hooks, this would be a radically different game for Pacific.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the next game will probably go for another hook champion, and another hook landing on the VYY this time around.
Doesn't even bother with inhibitor, he just goes for it. I mean, they're just giving him the go signal, just go for the hooks. Wow.
I think this game is pretty much over, especially with the Baron buff.
Another hook
on the server this time around. Oh, and it looks like Pacific have to be a little bit careful. He's diving a little bit into the here. Hongchu going down really low. He's only died once so far, and that would have been his 2nd death if ever he went down.
Oh, look at that culling, you know. Lucian is just so confident right now, they don't even bother. They're just not even focused firing the turrets, they're just going to look for the kills. I think Blitzcrank could potentially see another kill, another hook by Blitzcrank before we end the game.
Yeah. Trevor almost going down, and had to flash out of there. A hook landing onto Cassidy here. Cassidy getting stunned by Hongchu, and Hongchu picks up the kill. And there we go, another kill coming from Cassidy, from Twisted Fate as well.
Another hook from the fountain! Wow!
Oh, double kill from VYY!
The ultimate disrespect!
Yeah.
Wow!
Woo! Such an intense Blitzcrank game. It really is basically this game, one word, Blitzcrank.
If anybody wants to learn how you play Blitzcrank, that's how you play Blitzcrank right there. Just watch this game. Watch 5283 work his magic on Blitzcrank, and that's just textbook how you play Blitzcrank.
Yeah, definitely a future autoban for every team in the PGS against Pacific. They can't allow 5283 to get the hold of that Blitzcrank. You can see how much damage he did in that game, and it just murdered every member of Team Wargods.
Yeah, the Kraken's out. I mean, 5-2-8-3 with a Blitzcrank unstoppable.
Alright, so let's take a look at the match stats right now. Who would you like to give the MVP to?
Oh, that's such a hard question right now. But I mean, do we even have to ask 5-2-8-3?
Yeah.
Wow.
5 to 80, definitely the MVP for this game. 2, 5, and 19, making all those great plays for Pacific, allowing both Hongchu and BYY to just dominate that game. Look at BYY 21 and 6, and Hongchu and 12, 1 and 12. These are just crazy stats for both carries for Team Pacific.
Yeah, and I think like Blitzcrank. I mean, if it wasn't Blitzcrank right now, if it weren't for those hooks, it would be a radically different game. But I mean, just saying that, I think that the Ash Zyra would have also been a radically different game. I mean, I think Ash Zyra would have given them more CC, which would definitely allow them to slow down the damage that was being dealt out by Pacific also. But at the same time, I think
Yeah, it would have like stopped BYY because even if BYY gets caught by Varus ultimate, he can still shoot. Unlike once he gets stunned by the arrow of Ash, it'll take at least 2 seconds before he can respond to it.
yeah, so definitely, I think that was a mistake to go for a Varus pick. You're probably just a little bit more comfortable in the Varus pick, but at the same time, I mean that Ash pick just works so much better for the team comp and for the bottom lane synergy.
All right, so that'll be it for Game One. Pacific do pick up their I believe first victory in the season, and I believe second victory of the season. So they're gonna have a short break. We'll be right back after a few minutes.